Hey Vanner lovers, Jordan Lumen here with Vanner Lover TV, and today I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about feather. Now, I was recently a part of a Facebook discussion about how important feather is to you as a breeder, and I have participated in many similar discussions, and oh my gosh, it gets so ridiculous in these conversation threads. Now, I said my opinion on a few things, and I gave a few points, but I wanted to share some of my thoughts with you guys here. Number one, if feather is not important to you, you do not need to be breeding Gypsy Vanner horses, period. Number two, yes, conformation and temperament are very important, but feather is not icing. It is not optional, and it should not be treated as such. Feather for this breed is just as important as conformation and temperament, period. You take one of these things out and you do not have a Gypsy Vanner horse. So, we'll move on to number three, and that is Photoshop is a fantastic tool. By saying this, I do not mean that all photos of Vanners that you see out there are misrepresenting the feather of the horse. I am just letting you know that it is a tool out there to help anyone make their horse look the best that it can. Now, there are some people out there who misuse this tool. So, I have seen several horses that look to have a ton of feather in their photos, and when I met them in person, there was not nearly the amount that was suggested in the photo. I have also seen horses who look to have very little very little feather in their photos, or in a few photos, I guess, and but met them in person and you couldn't find their hooves. Their feather was so thick and long and luxurious and silky and awesome. So, bottom line is you can't judge a horse's feather based off of a photo. My suggestion to you is that if you are, I keep relating this to selling a horse, but if you're researching or whatever, you can ask for video of the horse to get a better idea of what the feather looks like, but even that, like if you're dealing with a horse that's got bog burnt feather or anything like that, that's a hard thing to kind of determine based off of a photo or video. You kind of need to go and lay your hands on that horse. Anyway, we'll move on. I'm moving on to, where is it? Number 4. There is a difference between coarse and curly feather, coarse feather, and fine, straight, silky feather. The most desirable feather for a horse to have is an overabundance of straight, silky feather. Straight, silky feather looks and feels much different from the coarse and curly feather. Now, the horses that have the coarse and curly feather, they can appear to have more feather than the horses that do have the straight and silky feather, but this is not always the case. More often than not, it's about the same amount of hair. It's just it just looks different. So so anyway, we'll move on to number 5, and number 5 is depending on multiple factors. It will determine if your horse's feather will burn off. And the factors into the health of the feather is genetics, nutrition, weather and location, grooming, working and location. I was a little upset when people were suggesting that if your horse has burnt feather, that it obviously, then obviously you do not have a quality horse with quality feather. And that's simply not true. If you have Vanners and you do nothing to maintain their hair, and they have amazing hair without you having to do anything to it, you are lucky. Lucky, lucky, lucky. Yes, gypsies do put grooming into their horses, so their feather looks its best. They do oil and sulfur the feather in the muddy months to protect it. Just like those of us who live anywhere that gets muddy should do, because it does help protect the feather from breakage, as well as it helps to keep bacteria at bay that causes scratches, which will make your horse lose more feather. So, because they'll be itchy all the time and pulling out their hair. Anyway, I'll move on here. Horses and humans have very similar hair. when we get stressed out or have bad nutrition or don't groom our hair, we have crappy hair. So why shouldn't it be the same for horses? Now, number 6, babies versus adults versus feather. Were quite a few people of the belief that if a horse doesn't have a massive amount of feather as a youngster, then it never will. And I call huge BS on this. This is simply not true. To determine how a foal will develop feather, you can look at sire and dam. If possible, look at mature brothers and sisters. This will not guarantee you anything in the hair department, but it does show you what is probable. So there you go. I have seen foals and yearlings and 2-year-olds with less than desirable feather, and I've seen them again at 4 and 6 years old and been blown away. Excuse me. Woo. And I have seen the reverse of it too. Youngsters who looked to have a lot of feather and then as an adult was lackluster in that department. Now I'll move on to number 7. Oh wait, no, before I move on to number 7, so bottom line is, if you're looking at a foal and trying to determine the quality of feather on a foal, don't. If you're looking to buy a foal and you want that foal to grow up to have a lot of feather, you know, you're taking a gamble by buying the foal. Spend a few $1,000s more and buy an adult where you know what you're getting. Anyway, number 7 is winter versus summer. Most horses, of all breeds of horses, look fuzzy in the winter. And so naturally, the horses who have a lot of hair are going to look hairier in the winter. So you'll see a lot of photos of fluffy, fuzzy horses. Those are winter photos of those horses. So they look to have a lot of hair because they're just fuzzy overall. Now, to see how the feather will appear in the summer months will give you a better idea of the quality of hair that horse has. So, yeah. Anyway, those are my thoughts on feather and determining the quality and whatnot. Nothing is going to substitute. So if you are looking to buy a horse and you want a lot of feather, you know, and if you're looking at this breed, you should want a lot of feather because that's part of the attraction of this breed. You know, I mean, even if you're looking for a gelding or a horse that you're never going to breed, you just want the horse to enjoy. You know, if hair is important to you, even at a pet status, then you need to meet that horse in person to see if that horse is right for you. That's bottom line. You just need to meet the horse. So, yeah. Anyway, those are my suggestions. And guys, thank you for watching. I tried to do this all in one take. I hope I did okay. I was reading what I had written because I was stumbling through my words earlier because I was kind of annoyed and a little bit in a bad mood because some people were being very cruel, and I had a couple people contact me personally and were just like, you know, feather doesn't make the horse, and what about performing and things like that. And that's just, it's pointless to do something like that because I know so many horses who are performing, they have lots of feather, and the feather doesn't hurt their performance in any way, shape, or form. So I don't know where they're getting at with that. But anyway, I'll let you guys go. I hope you liked this video. I'm going to post this to Facebook, and I'll also post it to YouTube, but I'm posting it to Facebook because I'm kind of trying something out with Facebook videos. So, yeah, guys, thank you for watching. Comment down below, ask questions. I'm happy to interact with you guys and answer any questions that you have. So, yeah, bye for now.